Beneath the ordinary world lies a veil, and behind it, the voices of the lost still whisper.
We are your guides into the shadows, where true crime meets the paranormal.
From chilling crimes to haunted histories, we uncover the stories that refuse to rest.
This is Veil of Echoes. There are places the world leaves behind, not because they were forgotten, but because no one really wants to remember what happened there. Poveglia Island was one of them.
A small island in the Venetian lagoon, quiet from a distance, almost beautiful. But for centuries, people were sent there for one reason: to never come back.
The sick, the dying, the unwanted. Boats arrived in silence, smoke rising where no one asked questions. And beneath it all, the feeling that suffering never really left the ground.
A quarantine island where fear came first.
A hospital where the walls heard too much.
And ruins still standing in the middle of the water.
But what makes Poveglia terrifying
isn't just the ghost stories.
It's the history underneath them.
Because before people ever called it haunted, they called it necessary.
And that may be the worst part.
Nothing on that island happened by accident.
It was built to hold death.
This is episode 57.
Poveglia Island.
Where the dead were sent, and the living feared to follow. Welcome to Veil of Echoes, the podcast where true crime and the unexplained collide. Where some stories are buried in history, and others never really leave.
Each week we step into places, cases, and moments that continue to echo long after they should be over.
We look at what happened, what was seen, what was reported, and sometimes what can't be fully explained.
We're your hosts. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Bria. Before we begin, this episode includes discussion of death, disease, and historical accounts of suffering tied to quarantine and medical practices. Some details may be unsettling. Listener discretion is advised.
If you enjoy immersive storytelling like this, make sure you're following Veil of Echoes on your favorite podcast platform.
Leaving a rating or review helps our stories reach more people.
And it truly means more to us than you know. And as we head into this next chapter of the show, we're building something with you.
A space for your stories.
The moments that stay with you, even when you can't explain them.
And we're calling it Echoes from the Veil. So if you guys experience something unexplainable, or something that never quite made any sense, please, we want to hear it.
You can send your stories to us at veilofechoespodcast@gmail.com.
Or message us directly on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook at Veil of Echoes Podcast.
And we'll be sharing your listener stories and giving shout outs to those who trust us with them. And before we step into tonight's story, there's something else we want your help with.
We've been talking about giving our listeners a name.
But we don't want to decide that on our own.
Because what we're building here, it's not just ours. It's yours too.
So we want you to decide.
What should we call you?
The veiled, the echoes, the unseen, veil walkers. Or something we haven't even thought of yet.
Send us your ideas, comments, messages.
Or even in a review.
And when we choose the name, we'll be shouting you out right here on the show.
And starting next month, we're doing monthly giveaways.
To enter, just leave a rating or review.
Take a screenshot.
And send it to us.
We'll be choosing multiple winners every month and featuring some of you here on our podcast. We'll also be having like cool
trivia games, stuff like that.
Yes.
Yes.
theories, who has the best theory, stories. It'll be fun. Because we see you and we appreciate you. Now, let's go to Italy, to an island most people refuse to step foot on. Poveglia Island sits just off the coast of Venice. Small, isolated, easy to miss. But for centuries, people knew exactly where it was. Because Poveglia wasn't just an island. It was where you were sent when something was wrong.
By the late 1700s, it became a quarantine station. Ships suspected of carrying disease were stopped before reaching Venice. Held offshore, waiting, watching. The world quarantined itself from Coratana Giorni. 40 days. That's how long they waited to see who would get sick.
And during outbreaks, it didn't take proof, just suspicion. If there was even a chance, you were taken.
Entire ships were isolated, passengers removed, separated, and once they stepped onto the island, they rarely left.
This happened across multiple outbreaks, including waves of the Black Death. Historians believe tens of thousands were sent there over time.
Some died from illnesses. Others never had the chance to fight it.
Could you imagine just knowing you're being sent somewhere just to pretty much just die there?
Well, yeah, because even if they had suspicion and you weren't sick, you got sent there. And of course, as soon as you get sent there, you're going to get sick because everybody there's sick.
That's sad. Bodies weren't returned. No funerals, no names. Mass graves, burning pits, and ash settling into the ground. That's fucked up. Awful.
Some believe the soil itself is made from what was left behind.
From people.
And over time, Poveglia became more than just a quarantine site. It became a place people feared.
So do you think a place like that can hold on to what happened there?
Well, yes, of course.
Definitely.
Especially
Energy.
if there's tens of thousands of people sent there.
Oh, that's sad.
And
Well,
it doesn't
knowing
seem like a
that-
big island.
It wasn't really that big if you see pictures of it.
Well, and knowing that, no funerals were held for them, they were just buried in the ground.
Yeah, no names, like
no
they were
names.
nothing. That's ignorant.
There's
Yeah.
burn pits.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Burn pits, like.
But, I mean, burn
jeez.
pits, that was the
To
way to
stop
go
the disease,
when there
yeah.
was any disease going on.
Which, I mean, I get it, because
Yes.
it destroyed the... Yeah, this is a picture of it. It's not that big, but it's haunting to look at.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot of people going there over the years to be that small.
Yes, definitely. Because it...
How many at once? That's another question, because as we've seen in the sanatorium, Waverly
Dang.
Hills, quarantining people doesn't work when you just pack
And
in
it's
every
not
room.
even... It says it's slightly smaller than Alcatraz Island. It's about 17 to 18 and a half acres in size.
Yeah, that's not really a lot.
It contains the ruins of a geriatric hospital, a mental asylum, and a tall church steeple.
Well, the church alone makes it creepy.
Yes.
Yeah, on an island like that.
Yeah.
It'd be a cool island for like 6 people to live on in their own houses.
Yeah.
But tens of thousands? Holy
I know.
shit.
It's sad.
You still need like some kind of store station on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eventually, the boat stopped coming. The outbreaks passed, and the island was abandoned.
No more quarantine, no more officials.
No more reason for anyone to stay.
But nothing was removed. The buildings remained, the graves remained, and everything that happened there stayed.
And over time, people started noticing something.
It didn't feel empty.
Visitors described a heaviness, a silence that didn't feel natural.
Footsteps. Movement.
Voices carried in the wind.
Not loud enough to understand, but enough to know you weren't alone. Years later, Poveglia was used again, this time as a medical facility.
Accounts vary, but it functioned as a place for long-term care and isolation.
Patients weren't just treated there, They were kept there.
Separated, removed, just like before.
And like many facilities of the time, treatments were experimental.
Oh, and that's just awful.
Yeah, very.
Some of those things they would do.
Well, we don't know what we're doing, but we're going to figure something out.
Yeah. Well, lobotomies, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was...
I still think they should use lobotomy on serial killers and
Oh,
rapists
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Definitely. Yeah.
Don't stop drilling.
And often more about control than care.
And over time, a story began to form.
Not confirmed.
But repeated.
A doctor working alone on the island.
Some say he began hearing things.
And seeing things.
And that it changed him.
His methods became more extreme.
More violent.
So like an evil scientist, I guess.
Mhm.
Dr. Satan.
Yeah. At the center of the island, there's a tower. And according to legend, that's where it ended.
He climbed to the top.
And jumped.
There are no records confirming it, but the story remains. Because whether it's true or not, places like that change people. Today, Poveglia is still abandoned.
Owned by the Italian government, access restricted.
No tours. No visitors.
I would love to go see it though, but that's, I mean, I guess
Like, can we just drive by it? Can we
Get on the
float
boat
by
and
it?
just drive it.
get a drone. I'm gonna fly it over here and look around.
Yeah.
But there have been attempts made to reclaim it, to rebuild it, and to repurpose it, but nothing lasts.
Even locals avoid it.
Not because they're proven anything, but because they don't want to.
Because Poveglia was never just an island, it was a solution. A place created to separate the sick from the living. And places like that don't just reset.
They hold on to what happened.
Layer by layer.
Until something remains.
So do you think places like this are haunted because of what happened there, or because we never stopped believing they were?
Again,
Both.
Yeah, that one seems a
I
little...
mean, for one, it was used as a plague quarantine.
and there's
Yep.
people...
Then a psychiatric hospital, leading to over, 100,000... I was going to say dollars. Over 100,000 deaths.
And it doesn't say how many, but there's people sent there that they just thought might have been sick. They didn't even test them. They were experimented on and died on this island.
Yeah.
They were thrown bodies after bodies in burn pits.
I mean, I can see then why people are hearing, screams, moans, footsteps.
Yeah.
Pure
Yeah.
torture over generations.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I believe deeply energy sticks to places like that, definitely in tragic events and shit like this.
Mm-hmm. And it says, Poveglia was abandoned because it became a place of death, functioning for decades as a quarantine station where countless plague victims were buried and mass graves, followed by the gruesome history of the asylum. Yes, it is forbidden for tourists to enter the island. There are no public transport routes to the island, and a special rare authorization from the city of Venice is needed to visit, or a private boat for a private tour.
All right,
How
Venice.
much?
We're reaching out to you now.
Right?
Hey, Venice, how much for a tour
Yeah.
of Italy?
I mean, I would like to see it. It's interesting. Interesting.
All right, the government of Italy, if you're listening, Vale of Echoes wants to come.
Yeah.
Let us come.
Please.
Yes. And that concludes this episode of Vale of Echoes. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, make sure you're following the show on your favorite podcast platform. Leaving a rating or review helps our stories reach more listeners, and we truly appreciate your support.
You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for teaser clips, tarot-style episode posts, and behind-the-scenes content.
And if you have a story, something unexplainable, something that stayed with you,
Please send it to us,
we're building something with you.
Echoes from the Veil.
because some experiences don't end when they're over.
And don't forget, we are starting monthly giveaways.
To enter, just leave a rating or a review, take a screenshot.
And send it to us.
We'll be choosing multiple winners each month and featuring some of you right here on the show. And you can send these to our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, or you can email us at valeofechoespodcast@gmail.com. And on Monday, we return to the Ted Bundy case.
By this point, the pattern is undeniable.
Victims across multiple states, witnesses, and survivors.
The investigation tightens. Mistakes start to catch up.
And for the first time, Ted Bundy isn't in control.
An arrest.
Then something no one expected.
He escapes.
And when he does,
Things don't just continue.
They escalate. But what happens next is how it all ends. Until next time, keep your ears open
And the veil closed.